Okay, so Sony has made an incredibly smart acquisition by acquiring Housemarque Games, their newest partner, and I kind of stepped in it on Twitter making a joke. So let's talk about this acquisition, how Sony is being really, really smart, and how I managed to step in it. All right, here we go. So, as I've said many times, Housemarque made Returnal. I absolutely love Returnal, and Sony has now acquired Housemarque. Housemarque is a company that has been for a long time making games only on Sony platforms. So this just seems like a no-brainer partnership, and I'm really excited to see what Housemarque is going to be able to do with this backing from Sony, obviously. And I'm going to get into the quotes and everything, but I made a tweet because in this GQ article I'm going to reference, it was really, really interesting to see that Herman Hulse was asked if they're in an arm race with the competition, basically, because they've been making all of these smart partnerships. And I used the wrong word, and Twitter's having a field day with it. So I said, we're not in an arms race with anyone, says company that recently acquired 5 studios and is clearly in an arms race. It's supposed to be a joke. The word acquired is what people are having problems with. Okay, they didn't acquire people, but let's look at the companies that have partnered with them. Deviation, former Call of Duty devs, Haven Studios, I believe that is the Jade Raymond Studios. We have Firewalk Studios, which was recently announced. Now Housemarque was acquired, and then Bluepoint is likely right around the corner. And as you know, Bluepoint made things similar to, well, they've been doing remakes for a really, really long time. I lost track of my notes here. I wrote down the ones like, the one that always comes to my mind is Shadow of the Colossus, but everybody thinks about Demon Souls. They also worked on Titanfall and Uncharted. They worked on the Uncharted thing. That was the other one. So yeah, so basically my Twitter kind of exploded because I was trying to be tongue-in-cheek. But the point I was trying to make is Sony's actually being really smart. Now, Hoeg Law pointed out that, well, they're not in an arms race because they're not just buying every studio they possibly can. So maybe arms race isn't the right word, but clearly they are trying to compete, and trying to mask that as something altruistic or anything else is just ridiculous. They're strategically partnering with amazing developers to bring Sony games, amazing games, and move consoles. That's their whole business strategy. They've been very clear about that. And this is an incredibly smart acquisition, and I feel like they should continue down this path. What I'm saying is, A, Sony's being really smart. B, we're all going to get better games because of this, Sony gamers and everything. I'm really, really happy about the acquisition. I don't know why they would try and mask it as anything else. Like, it's very clearly a business play. And to downplay that aspect of it was just strange to me. So I was trying to make a joke about it. So anyway, PlayStation acquired Housemarque. That's officially been revealed. And in this GQ interview, they talked about with, I don't know how to say his name, but Yari Kutnin, LK, I believe. Anyway, he's the managing director of Housemarque. He is a co-founder, and they're really, really excited about the future of this collaboration. I'm really excited about this because, like I said at the beginning of this video, I love Housemarque. Returnal is still, yeah, I don't think I've played anything that knocks it off my Game of the Year list. Returnal is still my Game of the Year. So he answered some questions about GQ, and he said, well, recently we started to do something bigger, something more ambitious, and we had a lot of collaboration with various studio teams as well. The results were great, and that started to bring some ideas of what the future might look like. What if we could get even closer together and be even more ambitious? And then they doubled down on this ambitious aspect of it, meaning they have something really, really big in the works. So the question was, are you done with smaller titles? I'm paraphrasing from GQ. And he said, well, at least initially, I think we're looking into what we've done now and building upon it. Certainly Returnal is kind of a stepping stone for us. When we're thinking about the future titles, they'll be even bigger and even more ambitious. So if Returnal is their starting point, and Returnal's already my game of the year, I cannot wait to see what Housemarque manages to do with the full backing of Sony. And look, the Twitter comment seems like I'm giving them a hard time, but I actually have a lot of respect for how Sony seems to be partnering with these studios. Like, if you look at what they managed to do with Insomniac, they gave them a mega property, Spider-Man, basically said, we trust you and we're going to back you up. And then Herman Hulst sort of doubles down on that aspect of it. And you know, if you look at Microsoft and how they seem to be partnering with Bethesda, that seems to be echoing the same sentiment. So I'm really, really happy to hear that Sony is also taking sort of a hands-off approach, but supporting them in as many ways as they possibly can. Now, that makes me feel a lot better about it. And it's the reason why I think Herman Hulst should continue doing most of the interviews with Sony, because he just has a better text presence, like when he responds in text form. And I feel like he comes off better in these interviews than Jim Ryan has, because every Jim Ryan interview just seems like it's perceived negatively for the most part. So let me see here really quick, because there was a quote specifically I wanted to get into. So Herman Hulst talked about the studio head forum and tech that they get to learn about and collaborate on. He talked about how it's entirely voluntary. He gets to run his team, gets to maintain the culture, and will obviously protect that. But we're going to be able to offer a lot to Housemarque going forward. So that means Housemarque is going to have even further support in the products that they choose to develop. And that's really, really exciting to me, because like I said, I love Housemarque. And looking back at some of the other quotes from the GQ interview, GQ seems to be the only one that has this sort of direct question answer with Herman Hulst and the studio head here, whose name I will not butcher again. I apologize for that. Let me see here. So smaller titles. And then when asked why they picked Housemarque, he basically said, we're very selective about the developers we bring in. Our last new acquisition was Insomniac for $229 million in 2019, which has worked out very well. I'm always looking for people that have a similar set of values, creative ambitions, and work very well with our team that we can further invest in and help grow as creators. It's not like we're going around just making random acquisitions. They're very, very targeted acquisitions of teams that we know well. The amount of collaboration between our external development group and Housemarque on the technical side, the production management side, and even on the creative side has been so deep. So for us, it just makes so much sense to do that. Obviously, this is not something you do overnight. The Ari and, oh boy, sorry if I get that wrong, and my team have been working on this for quite a while. Someone's got a new motorcycle. Have been working on this for quite a while, but we obviously didn't want to distract the core group at Housemarque that's been working to get this amazing title out. So again, doubling down on supporting the studio. He seems really, really stoked, but that's sort of where that was spawned from the arm race question. And basically, I don't think Microsoft's going out there just buying anybody who's willing to be bought. And I don't think Sony's doing that. But to deny that both companies are strategically partnering, acquiring, whatever you want to call it, with studios, making friendships, making buddies. If you don't think that's purposeful in the business world, you're crazy. Of course it's purposeful. They're acquiring Housemarque because they see an amazing company that's going to bring PlayStation gamers like you and me. Yes, I play on PlayStation. They're going to bring us better quality games. We've seen what Insomniac has managed to do, better quality games. So that's going to up their portfolio's value. It's going to have even more exclusives on the Sony platform, and it's going to drive console sales, which they've been very clear in all of their business talks that that is one of their key goals. So to deny that they seem like they're sort of working around the question like, oh no, we're not trying to compete. But then you look at Haven, Firewalk, Deviation, what else? Housemarque now, and then Bluepoint and Insomniac. And I'm sure there's other instances of partnerships and acquisitions that have happened over the last few years to look at that and say, oh yeah, like we're being really selective. We're not trying to compete. Yes, you are. You're absolutely trying to compete, and that's okay. I actually think you should be, and I love to hear this because it means that we're going to get even more great games on this platform, and Xbox is going to continue to have to live up to that expectation of having great exclusives, and it looks like they're starting to get there. I'm really excited about this is the point that I was trying to make, and the only The only thing that I was trying to point out was the ridiculousness that they're not trying to improve their value proposition for anybody trying to buy the PlayStation 5. Of course they are. And they're going to continue to do so. And I'm really happy about that. It's not a negative criticism. It's just an odd thing for me to see Herman Hulst come out and say, basically, we're being really selective and careful and everything like that. Yeah, you're building up a fantastic library. That's smart. I just felt like the way he phrased it was odd. Anyway, that's the end of my ramble. Congrats to Housemarque. I cannot wait to see what you do next. And if that Bluepoint acquisition happens, I mean, honestly, that just makes sense. They're making phenomenal remasters. Hey, thank you so much to everybody who donated to the St. Jude Children's Hospital thing. I'm going to keep an eye on it. It's the 30th today. It's at 4,940. Our goal was 5,000. If nobody donates, I'm going to make sure that we hit the $5,000 goal. So basically, we did it. We hit 5,000 and probably then some. Thank you so much to everybody. I can actually bring it up where it's at when I'm recording this. Thank you so much to everybody who helped make this possible. I can't believe we did it. There was a while there I didn't think we would, but I am incredibly thankful to you for helping these kids out. St. Jude Children's Hospital works to cure cancer and other rare childhood diseases. So if you watch one of these and it's July or it's later in the month, you can go to Tiltify and there's still a link there to donate to St. Jude's. It's a really, really good cause. So I would encourage you to continue to do so, even if I'm not pushing the charity angle during my videos. Give them a chance. It's not like they're going away anytime soon, and people will always need help. So thank you to everybody who did that. Hey, while I have you, if you like these sort of videos, thank you so much for watching. If you would like to consider subscribing, thank you so much for doing that. If you want to subscribe, hit that bell. And what else? Oh, memberships. Memberships are a thing YouTube offers, so I have those turned on. Thank you to everybody who has become a member this far. I'm going to get out of here, see how I can get on trouble on Twitter today unintentionally, and I'll catch you for the next one. Bye, everybody.